guys, Jennifer here. Today we are going to crack the code by answering a few questions that I had from a few of my subscribers. This information is going to be very helpful, and it's something that I am going to touch base on in more detail in some other videos, but instead of responding to these questions individually, I thought that I would share the response to all of you because it is really important and good information. So the first question was, why does my loved one need thickened liquids? So this is a swallowing question. Thickened liquids are prescribed usually after someone either has a stroke, they have difficulty swallowing maybe from Parkinson's disease, maybe they're in late stage dementia. There's a number of reasons why swallowing difficulties can occur. And oftentimes when there are swallowing difficulties, the brain and the swallow response time, there's a lot going on and a lot of things that can impact the safety of the swallow. And so one of the quickest and easiest ways that we can compensate or try to fix the problem, especially when it comes to liquids, is by making them thicker. So by doing that, we're increasing the viscosity of the liquid, so we're making it thicker. Therefore, it's going to flow. The rate of which it flows is going to be slower. So with regular thin water, we all know how fast that comes down. Same thing in our mouth. We kind of throw it down the hatch and down it goes. So if we're having any trouble with containing the water in our mouth before we're swallowing, if there are weak muscles in the throat that causes the swallow not to happen when it's supposed to, and so you've got liquid going down before all the other mechanisms in your throat is ready for it to, then what's going to happen is it's going to go into your airway and down into your lungs. And over time, as you've learned already, that will cause aspiration pneumonia. And so of course it's something that we want to try to avoid. So with thickened liquids, there are three different thickness levels. And there's a new framework that came out for us as speech therapists and kind of how we work, trying to encompass a lot more thickness levels, and then it also pertains to food. But I want to kind of step back for you caregivers and go back to just the names that I'm very familiar with and the ones that will help you the most at home when it comes to how thick the liquids are supposed to be. So you have nectar thick, honey thick, and pudding thick consistency levels. So, and the consistency is exactly in the name. So nectar liquids are going to flow as if you were pouring nectar. Honey, as if you were pouring honey. And pudding, yeah, you have to pretty well give it from a spoon. So it's very thick. And there aren't very many people that need that much thickness in their liquids, but there are some. So it is very important that you follow the recommendations made by your doctor or the speech therapist that's worked with your loved one when it comes to thickening liquids. There's various sites and various thickened packets that you can use to thicken the liquids, and I will touch base more on that later and tell you what I recommend. But it is important that you follow the recommendations, because if you don't, then you're going to find that your loved one is going to have a lot more trouble with drinking. They may be coughing a lot more. They're gonna have problems, and it will lead to problems down the road. Now, on that, the second question that was asked was, my husband doesn't cough when he drinks regular water, but he is supposed to drink thickened liquids. So can I switch? Now, the short answer is no. Really not until you have him further evaluated or looked at, because of something called silent aspiration. And silent aspiration is just like it sounds in the name. So when we aspirate, that means food and liquid to our airway and down into our lungs, causing issues. So oftentimes with aspiration, you will show signs that it's happening. Someone may cough, they may get choked, they may burp a lot, they might get really red in the face, watery eyes. They're indications, they're outward signs that something isn't going well. However, if your loved one has suffered a stroke or has had some sort of brain damage, then the sensation might not be there anymore, and the outward signs that we would normally look for to say something's going wrong may not be there. So food and liquid could be going down into their lungs and going down into their lungs. You don't know it. We wouldn't know it. The only way to tell that this is happening is through a swallow study. Those are usually done at the hospital. And they're the one, that is what we would need to tell you it is safe to return to thin liquids again. So silent aspiration is a true thing. Just because you don't see it or don't hear it doesn't mean that it isn't happening. So until you can talk to a speech therapist or follow up with their doctor to get another swallow study, it's best to stick to what has been prescribed. Okay, so those are the couple of questions that I wanted to go over today. Like I said, I will go over these in more detail in some later episodes, so please stay tuned. You can also look back to some of my other swallowing videos that I've already posted for more information and some different techniques there too. Remember to subscribe, little bell for notifications, and I'll see you again next time.